Many people find financial models intimidating, but in reality, they're just large calculators built from simple mathematical links. If you're comfortable with basic addition, subtraction, and percentages, you already have the foundation needed to create a financial model. In this video, we'll break down the process step by step, showing you how straightforward it can be. By the end, you'll see that financial modeling is less about complex math and more about logical thinking and structure. Let's start by understanding what a financial model really is and why it's such a powerful tool for businesses and investors alike. Every financial model begins with revenue, which acts as the engine driving the entire model. To keep things simple, pick one main revenue driver. This could be price times quantity, users times average revenue per user, or stores times sales per store. For example, a retail chain like Dmart might use the number of stores multiplied by average sales per store. The key is to avoid overcomplicating things at this stage. Focus on the main way the company earns money and build from there. This approach sets a solid foundation for the rest of your model. Once you've established revenue, the next step is to forecast costs. Costs typically follow revenue and are divided into two main types: COGS, or cost of goods sold, which covers the direct costs to produce the product, and operating expenses, which include salaries, rent, and marketing. A simple way to forecast these is as a percentage of revenue. For instance, a company like Zomato might have COGS at around 45–50% of revenue. This method keeps your model manageable and ensures you're not bogged down by unnecessary details early on. Now that you have revenue and costs, it's time to calculate EBITDA, which stands for earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. The formula is straightforward. EBITDA equals revenue minus COGS and operating expenses. This number is crucial because it shows how strong the business is before considering interest, taxes, and non-cash items. If EBITDA is growing, it's a good sign that the business is healthy at its core. This step helps you assess the company's operational strength and profitability. The balance sheet is like a company's report card, summarizing its financial position at a point in time. For beginners, focus on three main items: working capital, debt, and fixed assets. These elements are enough to build a basic but effective financial model. Everything else will auto-balance as you link the statements together. By keeping your balance sheet simple, you avoid unnecessary complexity and ensure your model remains clear and easy to follow. Cash flow is where the rubber meets the road. Unlike profit, cash flow shows where money actually goes in and out of the business. The cash flow statement captures three main things: cash from operations, cash spent on assets, and cash raised from debt or equity. This statement is vital because it determines whether the company can survive and grow. Even profitable businesses can run into trouble if they don't manage their cash flow properly. A strong financial model links the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow statement together. For example, net profit flows into the balance sheet as equity, changes in working capital affect cash flow, and capital expenditures impact both assets and cash flow. When all these links are set up correctly, your balance sheet will balance automatically. This interconnectedness is what makes a financial model robust and reliable. Free cash flow, or FCF, is the cash a business generates for its investors after covering all expenses and investments. The simple formula is EBIT times 1 minus the tax rate, plus depreciation, minus changes in working capital, and minus capital expenditures. This figure is crucial for valuation, as it shows how much cash is truly available to owners and investors. Understanding FCF helps you see the real value a business can deliver over time. Beginners often make a few common mistakes when building financial models. These include overcomplicating revenue, forgetting to link depreciation, not adjusting working capital, failing to balance the balance sheet, and making too many assumptions, which can lower accuracy. The best approach is to start simple and only add detail when it's truly needed. This keeps your model accurate and easy to update as new information comes in. The golden rule in financial modeling is to keep things as simple as possible. Complexity can lead to confusion and errors, especially for beginners. Focus on the main drivers and relationships, and only add more detail when you're confident it's necessary. This approach not only saves time but also makes your model easier to understand and maintain. Remember, clarity is more valuable than complexity. Linking different parts of your model ensures consistency and accuracy. For example, when you update revenue, related costs and cash flows should update automatically. This interconnectedness is what makes financial models powerful tools for forecasting and decision-making. By setting up logical links, you reduce manual errors and make your model more dynamic and responsive to changes. Let's take a closer look at revenue drivers. These are the core factors that determine how much money a company brings in. Whether it's price times quantity, users times ARPU, or stores times sales per store, picking the right driver is essential. This choice should reflect the business's main activity and be easy to track and forecast. By focusing on the most relevant driver, you keep your model practical and actionable. Understanding the basic cost structure is vital for any financial model. COGS represents the direct costs of producing goods or services, while operating expenses cover everything else needed to run the business. Forecasting these as a percentage of revenue keeps your model straightforward and scalable. As your model grows, you can add more detail, but always start with the basics. EBITDA is a key indicator of a company's operational performance. By excluding interest, taxes, and non-cash items, it provides a clear picture of how well the core business is doing. Investors and analysts often look at EBITDA to compare companies across industries, since it strips out factors that can vary widely. Tracking EBITDA over time helps you spot trends and assess business health. The balance sheet summarizes a company's assets, liabilities, and equity at a specific point in time. For beginners, focusing on working capital, debt, and fixed assets is enough to build a solid model. These elements capture the company's ability to operate its obligations and its investments. As you gain experience, you can add more detail, but these basics will serve you well in most cases. Cash flow is often called the lifeblood of a business. It tracks the actual movement of money, showing whether the company can pay its bills and invest in growth. The cash flow statement breaks this down into cash from operations, investing, and financing. By monitoring cash flow, you can spot potential problems early and make informed decisions about spending and investment. The true strength of a financial model lies in how well the three main statements, income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow, are linked. Changes in one statement should flow through to the others. For example, a change in net profit affects equity, while capital expenditures impact both assets and cash flow. These interconnections ensure your model reflects the real dynamics of the business. Free cash flow is a critical metric for investors because it shows how much cash is available after all expenses and investments. It's the money that can be returned to shareholders or reinvested in the business. By forecasting FCF, you gain insight into the company's true value and its ability to generate returns over time. This makes FCF a cornerstone of business valuation. When building your model, it's tempting to add lots of assumptions and details. However, too many assumptions can reduce accuracy and make your model harder to manage. Start with the most important drivers and only add complexity when it's justified by better data or deeper analysis. This approach keeps your model both practical and reliable. Financial modeling is an iterative process. As you gather more data or as the business changes, you'll need to update and refine your model. Don't be afraid to revisit your assumptions and structure. Each iteration makes your model more accurate and useful. The goal is continuous improvement, not perfection on the first try. Building a financial model from scratch is a skill anyone can learn. By breaking the process into simple steps, starting with revenue, forecasting costs, calculating EBITDA, building the balance sheet, understanding cash flow, and linking everything together, you can create a powerful tool for business analysis and decision-making. Remember, start simple, focus on the main drivers, and add detail only when needed. With practice, you'll gain confidence and be able to tackle more complex models in the future.